In our last video, we went over the naming of epithelial tissue, how it has a first name, such as simple or stratified, and a last name that's describing the shape. Squamous for squished or flat, cuboidal for cube shape, columnar for round. Column shaped. Now, we looked at simple squamosal epithelial, how it is this squished surface that's in areas you need diffusion of gases, such as capillaries and alveoli. Simple cuboidal lines tubes, such as your kidney tubules, and you have both secretion and absorption in them. In simple columnar, you need larger cells, so they're more column-shaped cells. And then we looked at this weird one called pseudo-stratified columnar epithelial. Boy, that's a long name. So here is the weird one. Pseudo-stratified columnar epithelial. And remember how I said in regular columnar epithelial, the nucleus is all lined up? That's actually true in most of the epithelial tissues. Here, the nucleuses are all over the place, so it looks really confusing. And I drew the cells in both green and pink to see, oh, wait, look, that cell's actually crossed over that cell, and this cell is crossed over that cell. Or this cell is just growing on top of that cell. So all of these cells, though, reach the basement membrane. So in pseudostratified columnar epithelial, it looks multi-layered because you have stuff like this going on, but in reality, all the cells reach the basement membrane. So we're going to look at stratified, multiple layers. Squamous, remember I said that means squished, it really means round. Now, the cells are flattened at the apex, or the top. So here's a picture of the skin. This would be the basement membrane, and these cube-shaped stem cells, nucleus is the wrong color, are attached to the basement membrane. This top layer is flat. This is not flat. In the skin lab, everyone goes, but it's cuboidal down there. Yes, it's the apex is the flattened cells. And the reason for that is you're losing these cells all the time. I have bad news about all the dust in your house. It's from your skin, or a lot of it is. Some of it's getting in through the windows. So this is constantly falling off, being replaced by the underneath layers. So stratified squamosal epithelial is multiple layers, and you have these flat, flaky skins, cells falling off, and in this case, that is the skin. It's about to become dust. The free edge cells are flattened. The rest aren't. So here, this is the esophagus. You have the cells on top are flat. There's some round cells down there. Yes, I know red on pink does not work. So you have round cells there, flat cells on the top. They're found where there's a lot of friction. You have loss of cells at the apex. Where the heck is that? Well, it has two flavors. So here we have the cells are living at the top and at the... And I have living cells right here at the top. And that's because this is inside the body. It doesn't have to worry about drying out. It doesn't have to worry about protecting from abrasion down from the outside. So we can have living cells. And again, the top is flat. We have these cube-shaped cells down here. Or, in the case on this side, we have dead cells. Dead cells on the top. So there's two flavors. We have ones where you have living cells at the apex. You have ones where you have dead cells at the apex. The ones with the dead cells at the apex, it's in your skin. And it's this tough protein called keratin that kills it. So keratin fills up the cells and they die. Poor cells. But it protects. Think how hard your skin is. Your fingernails are actually extensions of your skin. And that is full of keratin too. So keratinized, the outer surface fills with keratin and dies. And this is the skin, the epidermis, because it needs to be extra tough because it's interacting with the environment. Think how much it hurts when you touch something when you have a cut. The skin is protecting all those nerve endings underneath. Now, the only place you have keratinized squamosal epithelial is your skin. The other places you have non-keratinized. So this is non-keratinized. No keratin. All the cells at the apex are living. You have it where you have some abrasion. So your mouth. I just ate a carrot. It was a delicious carrot, but it was a crunchy carrot. So the cellulose of the carrot, that was probably scraping off some of the cells inside my mouth. And as it was going down my esophagus, it was scraping off the cells too. So you have it where you have some abrasion, like your mouth and your esophagus. And those cells are replaced quite frequently. I think I read every 1 to 2 days. Now, the adult vagina also has stratified squamosal. I will not touch that explanation with a 20-foot pole. Reproductive system is in the last chapter, so I will just leave it at that. These are the 3 places you have non-keratinized. Now, remember what I said? The epidermis of the skin is keratinized squamosal epithelial. So I will ask you where that is on the test. I won't ask you where the non-keratinized is. Now, transitional. If I took a poll of what tissue students hate, it would be transitional. I do not know why. Actually, I do. It's easy to confuse it with stratified squamosal. So in stratified squamosal, we generally have flat cells at the top, and the top is fairly even. In transitional, you have these amorphic cells throughout. And so there's no real shape to them, and usually it's not even as well. So it's this really weird epithelial tissue. So here in the transitional, look, it's not even, the cells are just random shapes. It's a multi-layered, so it is a true stratified. Cells vary in shape from round to flat, depending on if it is stretched or not. And you find it in the urinary system. So I have actually seen some slides from manufacturers. Instead of saying transitional epithelial, it says urinary epithelial because you have it in the urinary tract. So let's talk about pap smears now. Remember I said stratified squamosal is in places where there's friction and it wears off and they're constantly being replaced? Well, the more times a cell divides, the more likely a mutation occurs and you get cancer. So a papillomic smear, or pap smear, is looking at the epithelial tissue in the female reproductive tract and looking for abnormalities. Skin cancer, that's easy to spot just because it's on your skin. Oral cancer, the doctor has you say, and they look around your mouth. So this is looking at another place that has rapidly dividing cells and looking for abnormalities. The normal cells around the cervix should be circular with a very small, tiny nucleus. Cancerous cells can have multiple nucleuses or extra large nucleuses, or they lose their nice circular shape. So, cells are collected from the uterus and the vaginal walls, and changes are looked for. And there's a whole grading system. It goes from 1 to 6, I believe. Then you have A and B for each level. And they're looking for changes and abnormalities. And the idea is to catch it sooner rather than later. If it's caught early, it can be dealt with very simply. So they look for the shape of the nucleus and the size of the cells. And back when I made this slide, it was women are supposed to get checked every year over the age of 18. I do not know what it is currently, because obviously I'm not getting pap smears done every year. So you should go to the doctor frequently and have this done to make sure you don't have cancerous cells. So, what would a single row of flat cells be? That would be single row is simple. Flat is squamosal, so it is C. Same question. What would I call a tissue that is a single row of square cells? the single row, the first name would be simple, and the last name would be cuboid. So, next question. Cells look like it has 2 rows, but really only has 1. No, that's definitely multiple rows. Nope. Nope. Pseudo-stratified columnar epithelial. And this is a simple epithelial tissue. I will ask you that. Which is false about transitional? Cells are uniform shaped. They're multi-layered. Yes, it's a true multi-layered tissue. Students hate this tissue. Yep, they hate this tissue. It is found typically in the urinary system, allowing for expansion. Yep. So that means cells are uniform shaped. They're not. And we'll continue with the connective tissues in our next video. Thank you.